MD online editor. We'll let you know some good news for CEDRIC McMILLAN fans who have not seen your favorite bodybuilder on stage in quite a while. In fact, we haven't seen CEDRIC on stage since early March 2020. It's coming up on 2 years at this point at the Arnold Classic. You're going to see him here at the Legion Sports Fest in Reno, Nevada. That's happening next weekend. It's a 3-day show. It has masters for all the pro divisions. There's an NPC show. And finally on Sunday, they have all the IFBB Pro League, open bodybuilding, 212, wellness, bikini, fitness, figure, all that good stuff. CEDRIC, the list is coming out tomorrow, but I already know from the promoter, Chris Mins, fantastic promoter, puts on a heck of an event. Hell of an event. I can say hell on YouTube. Huge expo, other sports and events going on. And we already knew Sergio Oliva Jr. had committed to the show. We knew Max Charles had committed to the show. Both of them were in the recent Arnold Classic. CEDRIC was supposed to be in that recent Arnold Classic, but he got injured. I'm not really sure what the injury is. Somebody want to let me know here, and I'll relate it, because I couldn't really find any info on that. Not that I looked too hard. But CEDRIC was supposed to be part of the seminar. There's some superstar seminar with a bunch of big names. He was going to do that, but he let Chris know that I'll compete. I'll do the show. I'll jump right in and do it. So this is great news. CEDRIC, first I want to let you know, centerpodium.com. Center, if you can spell the word center, it's C-E-N-T-E-R. Podium is P-O-D-I-U-M. It's this thing people used to speak at. Centerpodium.com has all the info. There is going to be a stream. It is pay-per-view. There's no free stream, guys. Some of these shows occasionally do have free streams like the Arnold did. Most of them are pay-per-view. It's just the way it is now. And there is ad info. I did look it up because someone's going to ask how much it costs. So there are 3 days of events. If you want each day individually, it'd be $29.99. Or if you want to get a bundle all 3 days, it's $44.99, which mathematically comes to less than 15 bucks a day. So good deal on that. So Sergio Oliva Jr., Max Charles, and now another big name in the show, CEDRIC. Just to refresh your memory, guys, CEDRIC has a lot of wins to his credit. Let's see, he turned pro at the Nationals in 2009. I was there for that. 2011, he won the Orlando Super Show. 2012, he won the New York Pro. A lot of people think that was his best look. 2013, he won the FIBO Germany. 2015, Golden State Pro in California. 2016, Levroni Classic Poland. 2017, he won the Arnold Classic, the one in Ohio, not one of the Arnolds around the globe. And 2019 is the last time he won a show. He won the Grand Prix show in Hungary. And again, the last time we've seen CEDRIC McMILLAN was on stage at the Arnold Classic in early March 2020. So it's been a while. I'll go to your questions and comments. Maybe some of you guys got the injury intel for me, because I'm curious. Somebody's got to know what happened to CEDRIC. So let's see what you say here. Hi, Ron. Okay. Do I have any predictions for the show? If CEDRIC is in good shape, which I hope he is, it's going to be a battle between Sergio and CEDRIC. Cedric's got a beautiful physique. I don't know what he's going to look like. I know what Sergio's going to look like. He'll be a little tighter than what we just saw getting 6th place at the Arnold. And as far as I could tell, back at the Arnold a couple weeks ago, Sergio Jr. just needed a couple more weeks to dial in. So this gives him a full, Olympia was a week ago, so that'll be a full 4 weeks additional prep that Sergio Oliva Jr. has had. He should be in phenomenal shape. He wasn't far off the mark, but now he should be fully dialed in. Who wins? 100% Sergio versus 100% CEDRIC? All I can say is I've seen Sergio closer to 100% more times than I've seen CEDRIC close to 100%. I don't think I've ever seen CEDRIC really crisp and dialed in, shredded, ever. Sergio's showed more consistent conditioning than CEDRIC for sure. Okay, so Kevin21 lets us know he fractured his hand while bike riding a couple months ago. Yeah, you pros, you can't be doing anything like that. You just need to go to the gym and then stay home. Don't do anything else. Come on. What are you thinking? Well, he's got kids. I think CEDRIC has 4 kids, so maybe he was biking with his kids. Good dad. I know he's a very good dad, and he's very active in the local youth. He has a youth foundation. He spent all his 2017 Arnold winnings on a youth foundation that he has in his city or town. I think he bought them a new bus or something. Kind of like Nacho Libre did at the end of Nacho Libre. He took his wrestling winnings and bought all the orphans a bus so they could go on field trips and stuff. Rabbi Rosenberg, I thought I was going to say Rosenberg, says he's done. Cedric won't do anything. He's old. He's not that old. How old is Cedric? Cedric's probably 40, 42. I should have looked that up. Anybody know how old he is? Anyone who actually knows, don't guess, because I'm guessing. He's not that old. I mean, his body still has some shows in it. I don't think he's, I don't see like torn muscles. I don't see loss of size, things like that. Let's see. Is this the Prague show? No, this is in Reno, Nevada. I'm going to show you the shirt one more time because I have two of these. Legion Sports Fest. It's in Reno, Nevada. It's promoted by Chris Mins. They do a fantastic job. I've been to it twice. I went to it in, it was in Long Beach, California one year. Where was it the other time? Was both times in Long Beach? Anyway, it was in California. It's going to be in Nevada this time. So, Mr. J, sir, it's out of context. Oh, now you're at, no drug questions now, guys. Come on, stay on topic. If you have drug questions, guys, we do a show every week. I do a show with Dr. George Touliatos, author of The Bible of Bodybuilding. It's called Ask Dr. Testosterone. I've already got all the questions for this week, so I can't promise you we're not going to answer it tomorrow. I record that show with him. He's in Greece, 8 hours ahead of me. We record that show every Monday morning, and we post it every Tuesday morning. But that is the place. When we post a new video Tuesday, put your questions for next week's video. We will get to it. We don't shy away from any drug questions, cycles, doses, side effects. We answer all that. You know, Doc has the medical knowledge. I'm just a bro scientist. Guys, if I can't pronounce your name, please forgive me, because a lot of these, we don't have a lot of these words here in the U.S., of these names. Zijemi Diatwil Willie, Cedric is going to win. If Cedric is in phenomenal shape, it's going to be down to him and Sergio. I mean, who's going to win? You never know. I mean, last weekend at the Olympia, you could have asked that question with Rami and Brandon, ask 100 people, and 50 of them would have said Brandon, 50 of them would have said Rami. So it comes down to personal preference, really. Sergio will beat Cedric, says the rabbi. Maybe. If Cedric was 100, he would win, but he won't be. I mean, you know, if you're going on track record, like I said, Cedric has not been consistent. I've seen him in great shape a couple times. A few times I've seen him really off. And other times I've seen him somewhere in between where he's looked pretty good, but I wanted to see more condition because he does have one of the best physiques. It's a beautiful physique. It's different from everybody else's. If you saw just silhouettes, you would immediately know, well, that's Cedric. He's got a different look to him. It is a lot like the old classic bodybuilders, the Arnolds, Serge Nubrays, that era, just a bigger version, because he's about 270 on stage. He's about 6'2", I want to say. Let's see what else we got, guys. Tejesh Reddy, Cedric in 2018, Sean Roden level condition is a dream come true for bodybuilding. Oh yeah, and I mean, I say this all the time. I try to give some of the best pros attributes that I wish they had, like Rami. I wish Rami had the level of detail, muscle fibers, separations, striations that someone like a Hadi Chupan has. If Rami had that, in addition to all that ungodly mass, good Lord, he could win the Olympia how many times? Like 1,000 years in a row if he was a vampire? Someone else is sneaking in, says Mile High Monsters. Yeah, the list comes out tomorrow at some point, so I don't have the full list, but I do know those are the 3 big names right now. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, this is the first chance after the Olympia. Well, actually, there's a show in the UK. Oh, no, it's not UK. There's a show. I just did the preview with Giles. The first chance to qualify for the Olympia is for the 2022 Olympia is today. Well, that's not true. You could have won a couple other shows. But the first post-Olympia show is today in Rome, Italy. And then this is the next one. This is the second post-Olympia show. It's happening in Reno, Nevada. Let's see. So Mile High Monsters, you want to give us a clue who else is sneaking in? Because I wouldn't doubt that all these, if I was in the Olympia and wanted to hopefully qualify for the 2022 Olympia, I would jump into this show. It was only 2 weeks later, and especially if you're in the U.S., especially if you're not far from Nevada, maybe you're based somewhere on the West Coast, it would be an easy show to jump into and try to qualify for next year, or at least get some points going toward your qualification if you don't win. Nino Brown says, do you feel the influx of new bodybuilding fans can be negative? I notice a lot of them comment on shows that have no clue what they're talking about. I was actually talking about this with Kevin Leveroni because we just did episode 1, the season 2 premiere, because Kevin and I haven't done a show in a couple months. And we talked about it. There's a lot of new fans, and they come to the sport through things like YouTube. Like a lot of them, you know, someone like a Nick's Strength and Power, he brings a lot of fans into the sport, but a lot of them they're very casual fans. All they know about bodybuilding is what Nick tells them. They've never been to a show. They don't really follow the sport aside from these videos on YouTube, from the YouTubers in their comments. So they tend not to be as informed. A lot of them don't have a good eye for physiques yet. If they stick with it and really follow the sport and watch the contest and try to break it down and listen to, expert commentators, they will get a little better sense of it. But right now you do have a lot of fans who are casual fans who just know about pro bodybuilding from YouTube and from Instagram. They've never gone to a show. A lot of them never will go to a show. And I understand it's free on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet, however else you watch these things. So going to a show, it's an investment in money and time. You got to get your ass to wherever the show is, and tickets aren't cheap, and hotels and airfare and all that. So it's a lot easier to be a fan on social media and watching YouTube than it is. But yeah, a lot of these new fans, I don't like the word clueless, but yeah, I mean, that's accurate. A lot of them are clueless. 300 mg clen twice a day. No, first of all, clen is in micrograms. If you take it in milligrams, you'll probably have a heart attack. Guys, you got to be aware of the difference between milliliters, micrograms, milligrams. Learn the differences between that. That could be, with some things like DNP, that could literally be a life and death difference if you get those wrong. I think Regan is competing. I heard Regan was doing one of those, not the one today in Italy, but I think Regan's doing Prague. So maybe Regan will jump in. Yeah, if Regan jumps in, he could do well. He's looking really good. He just started working with Milo Sarshev. He's already looking bigger and fuller. Regan has a beautiful physique. It's just not, on his own, he looks huge. But you put him next to these guys, like a Rami or Nick Walker, he does look small compared to them. And that's who he's trying to beat at that level at the Olympia. But at a smaller show, he's won some smaller shows. When I say smaller, I mean, the level of competition isn't as difficult as like the Arnold Classic or the Olympia. He's won a couple shows like that. I don't think he's ever won anything in the US. I think he's always won them overseas, Europe or places like Japan. But yeah, I mean, Regan, if he packs on a little bit more size with that beautiful shape and structure and proportions, Regan could be really good. And he's still a young guy. There's plenty of time. Rabbi again. Ron, honestly, do you think Hunter was better than Nick? He's got better shape. He's got better structure. He's got a smaller waist. Like I said, it's all, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Bodybuilding is a very, very subjective sport. It's like a beauty pageant. I might think this girl's prettier than that girl. You might say, you're crazy. That girl's prettier than the one you think. Am I wrong? Is he wrong? No, we're both right because it's just personal preference. There are I wouldn't say rules, but there are things that the judges are supposed to be looking for. Nick beat him on condition. Nick beat him on overall mass. Obviously, he's massive. Hunter's not a small guy either, believe me. I honestly don't know. I would have to ask someone like Steve Weinberg, one of the judges, why they felt Hunter was better that day than Nick. Obviously, a lot of the Nick Walker fans deeply upset. But guys, think about it. It was only one place. He would have just been 4th instead of 5th. In the end, does it really matter? He wasn't beating Hadi yet. He wasn't beating Brandon Curry, and he wasn't beating Rami. In the future, I think he's going to be beating everybody. But, dude, Nick Walker fans, you guys should be stoked because this guy has had, I realized because it came up in my my Instagram or Facebook memories or something, Facebook memories, the Chicago Pro last year where he made his debut, it was actually later in the calendar year than the Olympia was this year. So that means he's only been competing as a pro less than a year. So his track record is he was 4th at the Chicago Pro, which was I think 6 weeks after he turned pro. We're talking about Nick Walker at North American. Next show he does New York Pro, wins that. Next show is the Arnold Classic. He wins that. And then the last show, which is only his 4th pro show ever, is Mr. Olympia, 5th place, top 5 in your first Mr. Olympia. You know, most pros go their whole lives and never even get to the Olympia. The ones that get to the Olympia, most of them never get to the top 5. Very few of them ever get to the top 5. So Nick he's way ahead of the curve. Don't worry about Nick. He's going nowhere but up, guys. Dr. Full 2. Regan has the prettiest physique in IFBB right now, in my opinion. Regan with massive size, with same muscle belly, she'll dominate every show. Yeah, Regan with more size, of course. I think he'd be beating a lot of these people. Powerlifter Light. Ron, do you know Mile High Monsters is Brett Wilkin and Martin Fitzwater? I did not know that, no. How would I know that? I can't keep track of everybody's nicknames. Are they both using the same nickname? I mean, Martin is Martin the Martian. Yeah, I don't know. Does Brett have a nickname? I don't think does he have one? Maybe we need to get him one. Well, Brett and Martin, whoever it was that dropped the Regan Grimes intel, thank you. I still think the Cedric thing is bigger news, just because I think with this hand thing, a lot of us figured he wasn't going to be competing till next year, if he competed again. Cedric has pulled out of a few shows. I would hate to be, I am a Cedric fan, but I would hate to be like a really diehard Cedric fan, because you want your guy to compete and then he doesn't do the show. It's a letdown because you wanted to see him. Cedric fans wanted him in that Arnold Classic and he wasn't there. Although he did the commentary with Arnold, which was cool. He got to be backstage doing the live stream commentary with Arnold and Dennis James and Steve Kuklow's wife, Amanda Latona. I thought Cedric did a great job with that. So Tejesh already, I don't know if it's only me or does everyone else think Nick Walker's lower body is a bit outsized and flat in Olympia? Yeah, Nick needs a little more quads and quad sweep to match his upper body. He's starting his off season right now. He hasn't had an off season in a very long time because he's been doing all these shows. I have no doubt that he's got Matt Jansen as his trainer and coach. I think he'll make all the improvements he needs to make. I wouldn't worry about that. Nino Brown, I think Patrick Moore should downsize to 212. No. Do you know how tall Patrick is? Patrick's like 6 foot. He can't go to 212. Or Classic has no chance in open with his size. Nino, I agree. He needs a lot more size, Patrick Moore. I think he has a fantastic physique. Shoulders this wide, waist like this, massive arms, delts. When he's on that Olympia stage, though, he's really outsized among those guys. They're just thicker. They're more massive. Patrick Moore needs size. He just does. Great physique. He gets in a really good condition. Like I said, some outstanding body parts. With that structure, he's got long limbs. He's got long arms and legs. It takes a lot longer for a structure to fill out a structure like that versus, the guys with structures like me with little short arms and legs, little stumpy people. It's a lot easier to fill out a frame like that than it is a long, stretched out frame. Let's see. Well, Nino Brown says, was Hottie's shoulders as bad in person as people say they were on YouTube? From certain angles at certain times, they looked funky, but most of the time, no. And, like I said, Giles and I have had this discussion many times, Giles Thomas. Even if it's only Giles, I say it's all gear. I don't think Hani would never let him put SEO. He's very, very much against synthol and all those. Synthol is like a catch-all term, like people say Pampers for all diapers or Kleenex for all tissues. So all site enhancement oil, I just call it synthol. Hani is very, very vehemently opposed to synthol use, would not condone or allow one of his top clients representing him to go on stage like that. But, they just need to figure it out I don't know what he used to do. To me, they didn't look that bad. When he was like walking, certain angles, if he was walking off stage, I say, okay, that shape's a little odd, but no, it's not as bad as most people think. Most of these people commenting on it, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. So he will no longer be putting his gear, whatever is causing it to look like that. I'm sure Hani and he will address it, and it's not going to be a problem in the future because Hani Rambod is one of the greatest coaches of this generation. He doesn't make mistakes, the same mistake twice. Everybody makes mistakes, but he rarely, I don't think I've ever seen him make the same mistake with someone twice. If they had this issue, they were too flat or whatever, the next time they've remedied the situation. Let's see. Macho Desperado. Hunter have a torn pec and looking like a water buffalo. Yes, he has a torn pec. I've seen much worse torn pecs. I've seen some that are, where it's like retracted all the way over here. Yeah, it's noticeable. And he was watery. I've yet to see Hunter in that really sharp, crisp condition that I think he would look fantastic in that condition. Everybody looks better just totally shredded out of their minds, obviously. Yeah, Hunter's condition could have been better. Every time I see him, I say that. And I'm sure it'll get better and better. He's got a great team on his side. He'll be okay. Brett the Butcher. Okay. Oh, Brett the Butcher. That's his nickname. You're right. I think I even I just wrote an article about him, and I think I said that in the article, and I couldn't remember it. Don't get old, guys. You start forgetting shit. Thomas Bonds. Hottie's shoulders no worse than Rami's quads. Let's be real. I don't think, I know some people are trying to say some YouTubers. I'm just going to call them YouTubers. I know people are saying they think Rami has SEO in his quads, and that's why they have that. I don't think he'd be dumb enough, or his handlers. Actually, he's got Chad on his coach now, but I'm saying all those years he was with the Camel Crew. I think that's just the shape of his quads. I don't think he's been, they were such a huge muscle group. They were already kind of too big for his upper body. So why would you make it worse by putting a bunch of oil in there? I don't know. Someone's always cutting their lawn. It's freaking October. This message is held for review. Let's see. The wellness female. Nina was talking about the wellness. Yeah, I think some of the women in wellness are putting stuff in their butts, fillers or something. I don't know. Not all of them, but some of their butts did look a little strange. Joe Seth. Nathan has just won the Yamamoto Cup. No surprise. Congratulations, Nathan. I mean, I saw the lineup and I thought Samson Dauda was probably the one who's going to give him the most trouble, and I guess that's how it went. I didn't watch the stream, but yeah, no surprise. I wish Nathan had been in that Olympia. I think he would have been top 5. I think he might have been like his highest 4th. Nathan Dash has a phenomenal physique. It's got all that. It's got size, shape, condition. Yeah, it's a very pretty physique, but plenty of size and a small waist too, which you don't see that very often. You don't see all that in one person. Brian Jones from Classic is moving to open class. He posted on his Instagram. Oh, thanks for the info. It's cool, but I wish he could have done. He still had a lot of potential in Classic. He just need to be consistent with his conditioning. Like last year at the Olympia, let's see. First he won the Chicago Pro in Atlanta. He blew that out of the water. That was his pro debut. I was there. Then he went to Olympia, got 5th place at his first Olympia, beating a lot of names. I think he had a lot of potential. Could have been really good in Classic. Just need to dial in the condition. Maybe it's a case where trying to get down to weight was too difficult. I get that, but best of luck to him. Love his physique. Wish he would give me a damn interview. He never responds to me. Fixed Die 77. I think Nick Physique has everyone running back to the drawing board. Nick's very good. Yeah, he's very good. Nick Walker fans, I'm on your side, guys. Come on. But I'm not going to shit on the other guys just because I like Nick. I don't do that. Abhijit Nanda. Hey, Ron, I think Nick's structure is not that great. That's why he got placed bottom to Hunter. What do you think, Ron? Yeah. If you ask me what does Hunter beat Nick on, it's shape and structure. That's really it. He's got a prettier physique with better balance, shape, flow. Like I said, Nick has got more mass, even though Hunter is a big guy. He's not as thickly developed as Nick. And Nick was in better condition. So what else could it be? It's just the structure and the shape that he has, the V taper. It's a prettier physique. Let's see. I agree, Tom. John Kester. Is Brandon quads better in person because on live stream they seem washed out? Yeah, I've gotten some heat for saying Brandon needs better quads, but he does. This is what I noticed. The bottom half of his leg. Let's be really specific here. The teardrop. This is above the knee. The vastus medialis was very clearly separated, striated. As you got higher up the thigh, the quadriceps, the separations were not that clear. And he needs more sweep. And I say that because he got bigger. He put 10 pounds on. He's wider than ever now, Brandon. Love his physique. Wide shoulders, wide upper back, little waist. So when you have that, you want the bottom half to come out like this. You want an X. You want the X frame. So, but the stream, I don't think did anybody any favors. The lighting was like rock concert lighting. At times it was, when I was watching the monitors sometimes, like, wow, these poor people at home, it seemed the lighting was, and the screens in back of them, it seemed like it hurt the darker complected athletes more. The darker your skin tone, someone like a Brandon or Akeem, it was making it seem like they were smoother versus, someone's sending me a text now. I can't read your text now, Steve, sorry. Yeah, it wasn't doing anyone any favors. Tidish Ray, it's not going to happen, but do you think Kai Green comes back in his 2016 AC winning shape? Do you think he can beat Rami? Yes. Will he? I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. I really doubt it. I wish Kai would come back. He's getting older and older. He still looks fantastic. He still stays very lean. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's ever coming back. Nino Brown, where do you think George would place in 212 if he didn't die? Who knows? I mean, I don't know what he looked like. I have no idea. I mean, I can't answer that question based on what he looked like almost a year ago in December of 2020. I don't know. I would have had to see what he looked like. If he was greatly improved, you know, his coach Justin firmly believes he would have won. And I don't know. Maybe he would have. Maybe he would have. I have no idea. Yeah, we'll never know. But it's you know, it's not even that important. He's gone. The important thing is a really good person died much too young. That's, you know, and someone made a comment on I did an interview with George. Oh God, stop texting me, dude. I did an interview with George a couple weeks before he passed, and God, he made me lose my train of thought. Oh, someone commented, at least he died. You know, he was willing to die for his sport. No, he wasn't. He wasn't willing to die for his sport. He died. It doesn't mean he was, you know, I don't think anybody's willing to die for their sport, where you say, especially when you're not even 40 years old, you're 37. 37, I bet some of you young guys, 37 sounds pretty old. Trust me, it's not. Once you get to your 40s, I'm 52 now, 37. That's way too young to go, guys. Abdul Naja, what is the future for Rolly? Don't know. Let's see. Lop Singh is a huge Nick fan. All his comments, no matter what the video, they somehow relate to Nick Walker. Lop Singh is Mr. New York, Mr. World Champ. Nick W got robbed big time. Clearly this Olympia, but now I predict him winning it all next Olympia. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great for the sport. It'd be great for the sport to have someone who is just a little more outgoing and out there on social media, you know, doing interviews, doing different podcasts, appearances. Rami goes back to Egypt, which is great for the Egyptian people. They get him, but we don't really hear much from Rami all year. Nick would be all over the place. I know he would. He'd be a better ambassador, better representative, just because he'd get himself out there more. And you're supposed to promote the brand, promote the title. You're supposed to. You know, historically, Mr. Olympias have been role models, spokespersons. You know, hopefully we'll get back to that. Levroni and I talked about that. We're putting that show up probably Tuesday. What about Rolly? I don't know. Guys. I don't know what Rolly's going to do. Crezo, I have no opinion on Crezo. I don't really follow him that well. Nano Brown says, the problem with Nick fans is they are fanatics. They discount all the other competitors' physiques. He's good, but not that good. Well, you know what? That's how the Rami fans always have been too. Even when Rami was like way off, they were always really upset if he didn't win. And they'd say he shits on all these, so much better than everybody. If you're a really rabid, hardcore, die-hard fan of a certain person, I could see where you'd think he's the only bodybuilder in the world and everyone else sucks. So the Nick fans are very, very loyal. They're very supportive. I mean, everybody should have fans like that are that that loyal to them. But yeah, how can Nick improve? He's already huge and shredded. He could improve. He could get more quad sweep. He could get a little more upper chest. His back is really good. Shoulders and arms. He can get better. And, you know, just more detail, more muscle maturity. He'll get better. Don't worry. I believe we're seeing about 70% of the full potential of Nick Walker. I think we're going to see so much more from Nick as the years go by. He turned 27 back in August. I predict by the time he's 29 or 30, he's going to be unstoppable. He'll probably be Mr. Olympia by then. Okay. Joseph, do you think the 2018 version of Roden can beat Rami if he managed to bring it again? Yes, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Let's see. Lord Jones, Ultimate Warriors 2018 Classic first show took fourth. 2018. It must be an amateur show. I don't think he wasn't a pro back in 2018. Lord Jones. Tony Sedano. Do you think something will change the IFBB because of GPS death? No. Mario Ultimate Art. What is the cause of death, George? We don't know. The autopsy results will go to the family, I'm guessing. His mom in New York. He has a sister. I don't know. I think it'll be up to them if they want to release it to the public or if they don't. It's their call. So we may never know. We may never know. Unless there's some sort of criminal investigation or a lawsuit or something like that. In that case, we would find out. But if not, if there's no real inquiry into the death like that, then we may never know exactly how or why he passed. Young goes, is there a serious discussion for Brandon, the top 10 greatest bodybuilders of all time with his accomplishments? I mean, top 10 bodybuilders of all time, you have a lot of people to consider, so I don't know, because you got like Ronnie Coleman, you got Jay Cutler, you got Dorian Yates, you got Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, Sean Ray, Dexter Jackson. Oh, you got a lot of really great bodybuilders, so I don't know if Brandon, he's not far out of the top 10, but I don't know if he's in the top 10. And again, that's a matter of opinion too. What was it called? That's George, discussion. John Kester. John Kester says, I can't wait to see Flex Lewis come back and compete in the Open. He has size, shape, and detail, which I feel could beat Rami. Yeah. You know, the good news is his wife is pregnant with a second child, a son. He's going to be born in May. So I interviewed Neil, his coach and longtime coach and good friend, Neil Hill at the Olympia. That's on this channel. If you go back down the list of videos, he's very confident that Flex will compete again. He's not retiring. I'm guessing we're going to see him next year. And I think he's going to knock it out of the park. I think he's going to be great in the open class. Just like, you know, William Bonnet came out at 212. Heidi Chupin came out at 212. I think Flex Lewis, who was the greatest 212 competitor of all time, he won 7 Olympias in a row. I think he's going to be an excellent, excellent open Mr. Olympia. I can't see him getting any worse than top 3 or 4 at his first Olympia. Let's see. MJK, what's the feeling? Are you C-bum doing the Open to the Classic? Do you think you might know? Yo, people are saying that, but Chris never said that. And Chris said on stage, he actually even said at the seminar, they had a seminar Sunday morning after the show, and he addressed that question. He's very happy in Classic. He's not interested in leaving. He wants to keep winning the Classic Physique Olympia. Why do you guys feel you always want these guys to go up, up, up? I don't hear you telling bikini girls, you need to go to women's, you need to go to figure. I don't hear everyone telling figure girls, you need to keep going. Physique, then open body, you need to be in the Ms. Olympia. It's only the guys that are always under this pressure. Get bigger and heavier and keep moving up. He's the greatest classic physique bodybuilder on the planet for 3 years in a row. Why would he leave? Why? So he can be like, 6th in the Olympia? He would need another 20 to 30 pounds to get a look at the Olympia with these guys. He's nowhere near big enough. Beautiful shape and structure. I love his physique, and I think he should leave it just the way it is. I don't think he needs to be bigger. He doesn't want to be bigger. So, sorry, guys. You can't just because you want these guys to be the biggest freaks to walk the earth. They have their health to think about. They have a lot of things. A lot of the fans, you don't care. You don't care if they live or die. You really don't. You want, because if something ever happens to them, you're just like, oh well, that's too bad. On to the next freak. Chris, this is a young guy, 26. He's got a whole life ahead of him. Let him stay in classic and keep winning, and leave him alone about going open, guys. Really, it's ridiculous. Let's see. Is Ian better in person than he was in live stream? Everyone looked better in person than they did on live stream. Everybody. Nino Brown, I wonder if Dallas McCarver was still alive where he would be placing competitions. He'd be up there. I mean, he's first Arnold Classic. He took second to Cedric McMillan back in 2017. He'd be up there. Mario Ultimate. Who are you rooting for to win the Olympia? Who's your favorite? I don't really have a favorite. I don't. I mean, I'm fans of all the guys. I don't have like one person that I'm like, oh boy, I'm really, they all work hard. I know most of these guys, or at least, I'm not saying I'm buddy with them, but I know them from over the years. I've interviewed them. They all work hard. I'm happy for any of them that manages to win the Olympia, because that's the dream. That's the biggest accomplishment that you can have in this sport, is to win the Mr. Olympia. So I'm happy, and I root for all of them. But there's not like one guy that I'm rooting for. Who has the best chance to overthrow Big Ramy in upcoming Olympia 2022? If Nick improves, I could see it being Nick. If Nick brings those legs up a little bit. Hadi pushed him pretty hard this year. Brandon Curry. I see the same group of people. Hunter dials in his condition better. I mean, these guys they're all very close. They're very, very close. I know the scorecards make it look like they're miles apart, but they're not. They're all pretty close. Barbells, dumbbells. That's it. What are your thoughts on Lucas Oslidal placing top 6? Sick conditioning. I don't see Lucas. Just I don't like in this Olympia. He wouldn't have made top 10, even with the crazy condition. Maybe he would have squeaked in the top 10. I like his physique a lot, but I just think he gets overshadowed by the taller, more massive guys. Youngo Ziwa, the short guys, who wins at their best? Branch versus Hadi versus Bonac versus Lewis. Lewis. I go with Lewis. Yeah, so that's just mine. You can all have your own opinion. Guys, it's all opinion. So if I say this or if you say that, you don't say, you moron, you blind, so-and-so's way better. Trust me, guys, the Hunter fans think he's shit all over Nick. He's 1,000 times better than Nick. Just like you Nick fans, you think he's shit all over Hunter. That's your personal preference. That's your favorite. So it goes both ways, guys. The fans of every guy, they really believe in their athlete, that their athlete is the best, and that's who they're rooting for. That's fine. Joe, Seth, do you think Phil Heath will ever come back to Olympia stage? And can he win it again? No, and no. He's not coming back. He's done. He's moving on to other things. He's partnering up, it looks like, with Patrick Bet David. They're doing a lot of podcasts and stuff, so I don't think he's coming back. He's moving on to other things. Nino Brown, is William Bonac on the decline? I don't know. If he looked a little downsized, a little bit. He still looked great. I thought he looked fantastic. I wouldn't have had an argument with him being in the top 5 at all. I don't know if he's on the decline. We'll see. Nino Brown, Neon needs to move back to 212. Maybe he will. Zango, is Kai the greatest bodybuilder to never win the Olympia? Well, Flex Wheeler, I think, is the greatest bodybuilder to never win Olympia. Kevin Leveroni was pretty damn great. Sean Ray was pretty damn great. Chris Cormier was really good too. But I'd say those 3, Flex, Kevin, and Sean, to me, they all should have won at least one. Which bodybuilder impresses you the most in person? Right now, I mean, they're all massive when you stand next to them. They're all very impressive. The most impressive person to me was Ronnie at his biggest. When you stood next to Ronnie when he was like 280, 290 plus in shape, it was just ridiculous. You couldn't believe that was a human being. It was just so much round, full muscle bursting off the frame. It was crazy. What happened to Flex Lewis? He's supposed to compete in Open. Where is he now? He took some time off. He had a shoulder injury last year that he had addressed. He got like stem cell and all that stuff, and his shoulder's better now. Then he and his wife decided they were going to try for a second child. So they did that, and now he's good to go for next year because his son will be born in May. So I expect to see Flex on the Olympia stage next year. Top 5 backs of all time now. All right, guys. Gosh, I've been talking a long time. Yeah, we could keep going all day, but I got stuff to do. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. So again, CEDRIC McMILLAN in the Arnold. Centerpodium.com for all the info on Legion Sports. And that's it. Appreciate you guys watching on this Sunday afternoon. See you next time.